Hello and welcome to this week's Midweek Minute. Have you ever used your phone or a computer to look up Google Maps and you find an address that you're in question and have it direct you in a way that does not make any sense or down a minimum maintenance road in the wintertime? Sometimes that happens with Google Maps. What about God's direction and His way in our lives? Recently I was reading in Psalm 77, and a couple of really important truths stood out about God's way. And the first one is that God's way is a way of holiness. It says in Psalm 77 verse 13, God, your way is holy. And then also in that same chapter of Psalm 77 verse 19, it says that God's way, let me read it, your way went through the sea and your path through the vast water. This is referring to when God's people were led out of Egypt, out of bondage and slavery. And God had led them in a certain way, and that brought them right up to the Red Sea. And to them, it seemed like a hopeless situation because now the Egyptian army was closing in behind them, and they felt trapped, they felt hopeless, it felt a complete sense of despair. And yet God made a way where there seemed to be no way. God made a way through the sea. The miracle that unfolded and the parting of the Red Sea, Moses extending his hand, God parting the sea, the people of God crossing through on dry ground, and then the waters coming back in, and the Egyptian army that was pursuing behind them being wiped out. God had made a way. Now leading up to that, the people of God, they couldn't see it. It didn't make any sense. They didn't see the big picture. And there are times in our lives where it doesn't always make sense. And the word for us today is that whatever we're facing, that we just keep on trusting God. That He's going to make a way even though it may not make sense right now. And for us to keep on following in obedience, to keep on taking steps in the way of holiness and purity, because God's way is holy. Keep on obeying. Because God has a way of making a way where there seems to be no way. Well, thank you for tuning in today. God bless you.